Today I finished getting my electrical ready for inspection. And I thought, well, I'll walk you through what you have to do in order to pass inspection. And this first inspection allows you to get hooked up by the electrical company. So first of all, you're going to have your electrical panel hooked up. And this is the inside of the electrical panel. I don't have anything wired to these breakers, but these 4 breakers I do. And one of them is an outlet right here. And the others are lights. One is outside lights. These 2 are inside lights. Outside lights, inside lights, and then this interior receptacle. So this is a 200 amp panel. And so my feeds are here for the hot, and this is my neutral or common. And this is for the ground. So that's what the inside box looks like for the electrical panel. Then the outside box is where your meter gets put in, and that is done by the electrical company when they come and hook you up. But before they'll come and do that, it has to be inspected and approved, and then they'll come out and hook you up. So one thing I showed once before was the grounds. You have to have a ground, and you can see the ground wire coming all the way up into where the meter plugs in, right here. And you have to have 2 posts. These are galvanized posts. They're 8 feet long, and they have to be buried all the way down, and they have to be at least 8 foot apart. And I have them 9 feet apart. So here's the other one. So mine are 9 feet apart. And when this is all done, my gravel will come back up to here, to this ledge like you see here. And so this is a 2.5 inch conduit. They have to go 3 feet deep into the ground and 3 feet away from the building. And so they'll trench up to my trench here and then bring their wire into this box here. Now this is where I have to hook up to the outside breaker box. And you can see my 2 hots here, which go into the panel inside the barn. And they're going to be fed from the electrical company when they come in and run their wire up here. And their hots go up here. And their hots will go up here on these lugs right there. And then the meter, when that meter's connected, then that connects my 2 hots down here. So the power will come up through this 2.5 inch conduit, come up through this conduit inside the box, and then attach to these 2 lugs. And then there's a 3rd lug over here, and that's for your neutral, or what's sometimes called as common as well. And so that again is attached to my common here, which then goes into my box inside the barn. So that's what has to be in place in order to be approved. And one last thing I didn't mention is you have to have a GFI plug hooked up for them to come out and inspect as well. So that's why I have the 1 GFI here, and it's hooked into the box. Now one thing to note is normally you do not have your ground and your neutral in the same bus. But because this neutral is bonded to the box, you can then put your ground in there as well. You only do that on the meter box only. Inside panel, you cannot have your ground on the neutral bus. It'll be bonded somewhere over here. There'll be another one where you put your grounds into. And so this is the one exception, is this meter box here. So hopefully I'll get approved tomorrow. But I gotta tell you something. It's been about 3 weeks since I finished this, except for the 2.5 inch conduit, and that's because I had to dig that hole. And I just been putting it off because that's that Georgia clay, and plus you run into marble. You can see some of the white stone in here. You can still see it into the hole there. There's some of that I couldn't even get out. And it's 3 feet deep, 3 feet long. And that thing took me like 2.5 hours to do, and I'm still sore from it. So I'm glad to finally have that done. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get approved, and then they'll come out and give me power. But before I stop here, I'm going to go back into the inside box because I do want to show where I'm keeping my ground wire and my neutral separate. Because In this box, you have to have a ground that is bonded to the metal box. So I only have ground. And then this is your neutral bus on both sides, and that's where my neutral wires are, here and here. I can go on either side. Here's another ground bus that's bonded to the box. So you can see I've got a neutral here for this outlet. So here they have to be separated in your internal box, your breaker box. But outside where power comes in and feeds, the neutral bus is bonded to the box, so you can put both the neutral and the ground to that same bus. So I hope this was helpful and informative in case you ever decide you want to do your own electrical and get your own meter box set and panel set. It's not that complicated. If it was, I wouldn't be able to do it. So later on, when it gets all hooked up, I'll give you an update then.